We dream in Deluxe.
Hi, I'm Danny Reeves, editor-in-chief of DLXVRSN magazine, and today we're sitting here with two gentlemen who are very special to the Las Vegas community. We have the owners of Lagudi Fresh Food Group. We have Paul and Roman. Hello, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Absolutely. We have a lot to dive into because your story is quite fascinating.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, you guys are not only a fresh food group, you guys are really tied into the community. You are family oriented. I need to start from the beginning. Paul, tell us where this idea even started.
Well, the Lagudi Fresh Food Group, the idea started out of necessity for a job. Really, it all starts back, the original in 2001, when I couldn't get a job. Now, I didn't have the education to have the degree to get the job that probably I wanted, so I had to create my own job. And I did, and fortunate enough, led to us today to be able to reinvent Lagudi Fresh Food Group with my son. In now that we don't just do produce, we do multiple divisions of food.
You mentioned your son, Roman. Hi.
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, working in a dynamic with your father, you have someone not only to look up to, but someone to really be there on you as well. What is that like?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a unique situation. I mean, for a lot of people, family dynamics doesn't always work, but for us, it really does work. We're very similar in some ways and very different, and I think we balance each other out in a way that really makes the business thrive. And I'm really lucky that I get to do it with my dad every single day.
Now, before we were on camera, we were talking a little bit about how you kind of started with Circus, and where you started downtown is definitely the success story is incredible from
Well,
the
thank you.
start. And you saw that from the very beginning
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
How special is that?
You know, we've come a long way. I remember being a little boy and having, we had two employees and I was 6 years old, and my dad would lock me up in the office because there's a bunch of homeless out front. So we had to go take care of business. But, it teaches you what hard work does, and showing up every day, answering your phone, doing the little things that make a difference. And that's really, I think, the reason that we were able to be so successful so quickly.
What is it about food that really is like so powerful to you? Because not only are you feeding the masses, but you're really integrated into the cities feeding the homeless.
Right. Well, uh, we grew up in the food industry. My family's in the food industry in Australia, in the wholesale produce markets. So it was really just something just very comfortable being in that business. Um, and everybody's got to eat. So, if you can create something and provide something that you're proud of, and from all different areas, from supplying a hotel that's a need for a hotel guest, to supplying an individual who's their normal daily diet. We're very creative. We're pretty fit. We like to be fit and healthy and eat well. So it's probably something that's just a big part of our family.
I mean, who doesn't love food?
Right. Exactly.
But tell me, it's starting before you. You're saying
did.
it's a family business before you. Tell me what that.
Well, it goes back to when my grandfather was in Italy and he came to America, and then he had gone back to Italy, got on the wrong boat and ended up in Australia.
Stop.
That's how the Lagudi started in Australia.
Isn't that Christopher Columbus's story?
Yeah.
That's my grandfather. But a true story. And he used to work 10 miles a day to walk to the farms and sell produce and food and milk and dairy at the time. And then my father got into the wholesale markets in food, in produce, and that's how I grew up in it. And then when I moved to America, when I decided to move here, I had cancer. So I decided I didn't want to, you live once, and I survived it, so I moved to America and got into the food industry here. Was really something that I just felt comfortable and knew. And And today, especially with Roman, we'll be able to take it to a whole different level. Instead of just supplying produce and cut produce, we do everything. And we do meals that I probably never dreamed of that we could do, that we create every day.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And we're going to go into that in a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about your cancer journey. Is that the moment, that pivotal moment that you felt like food would really make a difference? Because when I think about cancer and food now, I feel like they go hand in hand. Is this like a silver lining that you might have had in your
Well,
business?
I totally agree. Food and cancer go line, they, what did you say?
Hand in hand.
And they go hand in hand. Sorry, they go hand in hand. You're totally correct. But the silver lining for me wasn't the food. The silver lining for me was we always look at every day how we want to do things, right? And we're here forever. Well, once you go through cancer, you start to lose. Every day I lose a day, right?
Yeah.
So every day, we all lose a day. And if we start looking at it that way, you start to look at things that you really enjoy doing and want to do the best you can, because you're not here forever. So you want to really enjoy it. And that's a whole different subject I can get into. But the food is something that we're very passionate about. And we want to do it all today, because we don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, that's
So-
amazing. And how did that shape? How old were you when that? Were you
Oh,
born?
yeah, I was really young. I was only like 5 years old at the time.
You still could. I'm sure you remember some things.
Yeah, well, I mean, his goal when he went into surgery was to see me get to 20, and today I'm 31 years old. So, like we
That's
say,
a
we,
bonus,
we,
isn't it?
we live in bonus time now. So,
Yeah.
no, we're having fun.
And you say that you guys are both fit, but you're an athlete,
I
right?
played rugby, yes.
Yeah, tell me about.
Well, I'm an old athlete now, but I was a young athlete, and I played rugby in Australia and I coached at the University of Washington in Seattle. That was one of the first journeys I had to America, and all my kids have been athletes. Roman was a race car driver. He
No
traveled
way.
all over
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Sport for
I-
us.
We
is
just
dead.
freaked out. What
Yeah.
car? What did you drive?
I started off in go-karts at 10 and then worked my way up to some late models and then on the IndyCar junior teams. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're and
He was
you
offered
were-
to go to Formula 3, but
It was just too much
the
money.
budget was too high.
It didn't make sense.
You got a $20 million scholarship, but they were going to put up half. I said, who's getting the other half? They said, you are. I said, he just retired.
Yeah. So then I went into business.
That's not, I mean, what a great footsteps to follow. And you guys are making such an impact in Las Vegas. And I want to go into E.A.T because
Yes.
we did some work downtown, all of us together with Deluxe Version Magazine, with Vegas Strong. I want to talk a little bit about that and where this concept even came from, because now you can get these in your homes, right?
Yes.
And you're feeding the homeless with these also.
That is good. Absolutely.
Roman, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so E kind of started out of necessity. I mean, right now we do, like my dad said, we supply all the hotels in Las Vegas as well as different retailers across the country. And it was, how do we get our high-end quality product into the doors of everyone at their house? How can we expand our market so we're not only doing the Vegas and some California markets, we're able to expand to the whole country. And funny enough, how E.A.T started, I was walking into the gym one time. It's funny how you never know who you're going to meet. And I made a relationship with a guy. I said, I like your car. He goes, I like your car. And we became friends. And come to find out, he's big in the online marketing space. And with his background in the online marketing space and our background in the food business, it was really a good marriage to say, how do we do something here that we can leverage both of our expertise and really come out with a great product to America? And that's where E.A.T was born. So E.A.T stands for easy, affordable, and tasty. It's about providing high quality, high protein, healthy meals, as well as some indulgent meals to the whole country for an affordable price. And that's where E.A.T started, and we're enjoying every day to keep growing it.
And you guys are, exactly, you're growing, because when I first met, you had one plate and it was lovely. Now, the last time I see you, it's transformed into something else. And then I saw on your social media this delicious vegetarian option. So you kind of have something for everybody, and they're getting bigger and better.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we offer a range of ready-made meals to artesian handmade Italian pizzas. So it's like low in gluten, so you can eat 10 of them and you don't feel bloated. We offer a line of breakfast items, sausage, egg McMuffins, chorizo, burritos, breakfast plates. So, and those are constantly going to be added to and taken away, as, new items come out. But yeah, we try to offer a little bit of everything for everybody. We have fish dishes, we have vegan dishes, a lot of meat dishes, pastas. Pretty much you name it, we make it.
This is amazing. Now,
Yeah.
tell me though about how you guys are doing community service in Vegas.
Well, community service, we did the Vegas Strong,
Mm-hmm.
where we did donated $30,000 worth of meals for Thanksgiving. We like to we do a lot of different things for not just homeless, but also older people in different areas that we will donate meals. And we've made a little bit of a difference too in some areas, some people that can't afford meals, that will give them different meals for the community. The community for us has been a big thing. Vegas was very good to us. So we want to give back as much as we can. And we do a lot of that with the hotels too, and combined charities and different things that we do with them.
I mean, when you're doing food for nonprofit, it just resonates with everybody that you are more than just revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Well, for us, it's not just like you said, giving back is huge to us. And that's why we do the holiday. Normally every holidays we do giveaways, right? So like this year we did the homeless. We gave out $30,000 worth of meals. And we're probably going to do that again next year. Last year we did something a little bit differently, but every year we try to do something to give back to the community that's been so good to us.
I know. Isn't Vegas great?
Vegas is great because I'm sure a lot of cities are really great, but Vegas is a little bit special when the community really comes together and they support it. A lot of businesses come together for the community, and I think that's pretty cool.
I do too. I want to go back to the father-son dynamic because that is so rare. Now, Paul, when you were kind of teaching Roman the ropes, what was it that was like, okay, I can finally trust him? Was there a moment?
It's interesting you say that because I grew up in a family business working with my dad, and I'm here. So in saying that, it didn't work out too good. But I love my dad, and we've got a great business. I wanted to do things a little different. Roman's very different to me. His persona is a lot more different. He's a little bit more calmer, probably a little bit smarter. And so I think it was very important, let him be his person in his way. He didn't have to be me. And I think that can be what a lot of parents want, but it's really not the way to go. So I think to answer your question, the best way is we are really, truly who we are as individuals. And I realized that Roman has a love for the business. And, when you're around it, he didn't come into it at 22. He was born around it every day. You just know it. So the customers and the people we deal with all the time knew Roman, and Roman knows them. And then he just had his personality shine.
What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, for me growing up in the business, my earliest thoughts was when I was 3 years old in my grandpa's produce market with a remote control RC forklift, making little fake pallets. So, I mean, I've been making orders since I was a little boy. And then as I've gotten older and evolved, you learn more and more different parts of the business, more important roles, and get more responsibilities. But he's been really good at not just with me, but at all of our employees to really understand what people's strengths and weaknesses are, and really make sure we focus on what their strengths are and utilize them to the best of their abilities. And my dad's really good at seeing that in people.
Well, I love that you guys both have showed each other what your strengths and weaknesses are. I feel like that is set for a successful business. You did mention that you didn't continue business with your father. So it makes me wonder, if you guys have conflict, how is that handled in a family dynamic?
He's right and I'm wrong.
Fun.
He's right and I'm wrong.
It's pretty simple.
And you did say
To be quite honest with you, yeah, exactly. To be quite honest with you, I think the way we, at the end of the day, when there is a conflict, we actually have a discussion. I like to use the words, explain to me why try and convince me the way you're looking at something. because I'm not seeing it the same way. And if I can't see it the same way, I can't agree with it. And if you can convince me to see it the way you're seeing it, then I feel I'm open-minded enough to say, okay, I can see that. And then I can say I agree or disagree. We try not to, we don't really get heated. I had a few heated ones with my dad, but not with my son. We actually really seem to communicate really well, which works well.
It's incredible. I love this topic because I feel like it's going to become more common for, like, I really see my daughter taking over maybe in my footsteps, or maybe it's a dream. But I do feel like that it could possibly be more common. So I think people could resonate with this story.
I think it's important to let it be their dream and not your dream.
Okay, I'll tell her that.
Yeah.
I've also told her she needs to be a lawyer, and I am not a lawyer.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
it's either one or the
but there's
other.
a reason I say that, because, I've got 3 kids and they're all different. And some parents want to raise their kids all the same, but they're not all the same. They're all different. And I think I realized this going back some time ago, that if he wanted to be in the business or not in the business, it was up to him. The initiative had to come from what he wanted, not what I wanted. And I think that's why it's easier.
Yeah. Probably, most definitely. Because if you weren't passionate about it, then you would know, and you wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate it.
Because you told me what your daughters do as well, and maybe one has something to do with food, but the other is in entertainment, and which is totally
Well, what's interesting, the one who's in entertainment is very much involved in the food.
Oh, really?
Yes, but she's more involved on marketing side of things
I see.
and branding. She's a brand builder,
Okay.
so she helps a lot in what we do.
You're just keeping it all in the family.
Well, what's funny is it's a good point. Everybody, the family's the core, the business is the core business, and they're all got their own passions that intertwine with the business.
Yeah.
That makes it right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel like that's really special
Oh, it's
to
great.
do that.
It is. It is. Yeah.
And you were saying earlier, though, because you started, but then Roman came in to start Lagudi Fresh Food Group.
Yes.
So it wasn't that originally.
No.
Where
no.
was the pivotal moment where it
The pivotal moment happened was originally it was Lagudi Enterprises, and then I had sold part of that company in 2010 to another company where we had came together. And then in 2018, we had a split up. And so and Roman was just finishing college. So there was a year where we weren't in business, where we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get back into do a business together, but we're not going to just do produce this time. We're going to do everything. And we just evolved. We have competitors in this business in different sectors, but we don't have one competitor who really does everything that we do. Really evolved and listening to the customer and giving opportunities to a lot of people who are very good at different things.
Yeah. Like my dad was saying, before we segued back into Lagudi Fresh Food Group, we had a lot of talks we had a few years to talk about it, unfortunately, but fortunately. And it was really about what's the smartest way to segue back into the market, and seeing what the trends are. And we could see that in the future trends in the food space was labor is a big issue with these casinos, and outsourcing is a big thing. And so if we were just if we could provide more than just fruits and vegetables to the casinos, and we could offer a full bakery line, a full juice line, a full ready-made meals, sandwiches, salads, other than just an ingredient, that's where there's a lot more opportunity. And so that's where Lagudi Fresh Food Group came in, and we honestly just listened to our customers, and customers at the end of the day are friends. People like to deal with friends, and they tell you what their needs are. And if you listen carefully to their needs, that gives you opportunity. Anything that's a pain in the butt for them to do is opportunity for us. And that's how it's evolved. And just because we're doing something, I say to people all the time, just because we're doing something today, making something today, doesn't mean we're not making something new tomorrow. We're constantly evolving, and we're a full customized house. So it's whatever the customer's needs are, we try to make a solution to fulfill those.
Yeah, so that transfers right into my next question is, what do we see for Lagudi Fresh Food Group in the future?
Well, that's a good question. I think for us, it's an expansion throughout the country. especially in different cities and different states that intertwine. I think exporting and importing is going to become a lot bigger for us as well because the world's a lot smaller. And what happens is you build a lot of relationships with people, and everybody wants to deal with a friend, and we've got friends that we want to deal with. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we're importing pasta or seafood from Scotland and seafood from Australia and or different and different things around the world, which we're working on at the moment.
It's kind of a funny question because you say, what about the future for Lagudi Fresh Food Group? Well, if you told us 2 years ago where would be today, I would say you're crazy, right? So it's one of those things where it evolves so quickly, but we're kind of fortunate that we're in a place in our business where we get to really be picky with the growth that we do have coming on. We're very picky, and we're very making sure it benefits the overall business. We turn away more business than we bring on because we like to grow it in a very strategic manner that makes sense for, like we would say, we have 300 employees that work for us. We have an obligation to make the right moves and turn the ship in the right direction, to look out for not just our lives, but all of our employees' lives as well.
Absolutely. When you're growing at that capacity, it has to be strategy at all times.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about the future of Lagudi Fresh Food Group. Let's talk about what E.A.T is changing in the culture and the value that it brings.
I'm so excited about E.A.T. I'm so excited because we're going to be nationwide. Every home in the United States of America can buy our meals. You can get it within 24 to 48 hours to your home. You're going to have tremendous amount of protein. You can eat clean. You can eat healthy. You can feed your family, and we're going to get it there at a dynamic shipping price. So it's going to be very affordable. We're really excited about it. It's going to really, truly be easy, affordable, and tasty.
It's in the name.
It's in the name.
In the name,
It's
Joe.
in the name.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming out to see us today. It's been so fascinating to learn more about Lagudi Fresh Food Group and E.A.T. You guys are really making a difference in the community, and we're so happy to be a part of what you guys are also doing. So
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And you're watching Deluxe Version Magazine.
We dream in Deluxe.